Yeah, it's your boy John, my co-host Bree. She's back from vacation, celebrating her 2-year anniversary of her wedding to my boy
Yes,
Dev. Yes, I was at that wedding too. I was at that wedding. It's a beautiful wedding. The weather was
DR.
beautiful out in DR. Need to go back.
Yes. So we just
Definitely need
came
to
back
go
from
back.
DR.
I know
So
y'all
much.
enjoyed yourselves. DR is a beautiful place.
It surely is.
And it's a new episode of another Shitty Opinion podcast. We're back. Two-man crew, the duo. Last week's episode, we
Right.
had special guests. It was a special episode, but now we got the duo back. But we're gonna open up this week's episode with some controversial news. It's something that's been probably going on almost a good portion of our lifetime. He was first accused of this in the early 2000s. Or it was it him on that tape? Was it not? It was probably one of the biggest debates since we were children. But
Right.
he seemed to beat those charges and then land himself in more trouble. And if you don't know who we're talking about, even with the references, we're talking about R. Kelly.
Right.
R. Kelly, who is a big man, a big time artist, has been convicted of sex trafficking, racketeering, and many other charges. He was convicted on all counts, which is crazy. Oh, that popped up real quick. That's what I was saying. He was convicted on racketeering, sex trafficking, and many charges. They found him guilty on all charges. And during sentencing, he could face up to 10 to 100 years. And he also has pending cases in other states. So this is just the charges he faced in New York. So even if he gets the minimum on this, he has other pending charges facing in his future. So
Right.
what do you feel about the conviction? You think he'll be getting the maximum, minimum, or he's just done?
He's gonna get the maximum.
Maximum, most likely.
Of course he's gonna get the maximum. I mean they definitely have to um make an example. And not only that, it's just too much stacked on it. Like it's just too much that he has on him that I'd be surprised if they don't give him the max. You get what I'm saying?
And he also got, I think I read, he has charges pending in Illinois,
Right.
Minnesota, and one more place. So it's like, I think if he would have beat these charges, he would have had a good chance. But now that he's been convicted on all counts, chances are all those other cases he'll be most likely convicted. So he's most likely going to be behind the cell for the rest of his life.
Right. Pretty much.
Yeah, so for someone who's had such a huge impact on the culture and musically, like he is a musical genius, he has some great records. This, in a way, kind of basically taints his status. Like it taints it. For most people, some people could, separate the man from the music.
Right.
A lot more people who's not going to be able to do that. So everyone's gonna have a different reaction to it. Most people are just gonna stop listening to him at a whole after this. But it's very unfortunate for someone that was a big time artist and had great impact on the world. He was doing some fucked up shit, and now he's about to go down for it.
Right.
And for the most part, I believe perception wise, the people everyone thought he did that shit. Well, scratch that. Like I said, remember how I brought it up when we was younger? It was the debate of was that him on that tape?
Yeah.
At that time, people thought it was him. It was debatable. I had never seen this shit, but that was something that was talked about a lot. So it's been like people always had this like, oh, he's been doing this shit for years. So he deserves what he gets, and looks like he's gonna be behind bars for the rest of his life. So
it's just unfortunate. Again,
it's unfortunate because he created he put out so much like like the music he put out was so great,
Right.
and people can't like if you already listen to it, like pretty much we've listened to it growing up, so it's like
Not unfortunately, like he's wrote. Not only has he produced his own songs, but he wrote so many songs for other people. So does that mean we not listen to those people's, music?
that's what I'm saying. So it's like when a situation like this happens, it's because he already has had his impact.
Right.
He's already had his impact on the game, and obviously he's growing up since we was kids to this point. We've like he already put out so much records that's already gonna like at the time when he put it out, he's like those is classic records. But
Right.
it's just like in a way, some of the records are questionable because it's like could you really listen to these records or not? Because some like when Survivor R. Kelly came out, it made it seem like some of them records is he's on them records talking about the shit he was doing. And it's like so basically him and the
Right.
whole is tainted. Like his whole legacy is tainted, unfortunately. But if you choose to still like, if you can separate the man from his music, that's on you. But like I said, he did what he did, so he deserves what he gets for it. I I believe he did what he did.
Of
It's
course.
it's been a conversation for almost 20 years of him doing shit like that. So it's not like nothing new where you could say someone's lying or whatnot. That's been the conversation for like 20 years. Like so which is crazy, but but
It's just it's a touchy subject for some people.
of course, because I know plenty of people still probably are gonna still listen to his music after the fact, but it's just gonna change the way, like maybe they're not gonna listen to it out loud or publicly how they used to listen to it before he was found guilty. Like, because at the end of the day, he wasn't guilty yet, so you could go by he's not guilty yet, he's accused, so I could listen to it because I choose to. But now when you play his music, you listen to a man that's been convicted of sex trafficking, sex
Right.
crimes. So it's like, in a way, it's like, are you justifying it by listening to his music? So that's what I'm saying. Like, unfortunately, he made great music, and we all know there's a lot of songs that we can listen to from R. Kelly. But it's just like, damn, if I listen to this, am I justifying the fact that what he did? Or am I just listening to his music for the music because I like his music? That's what I said. His whole shit is tainted, but 10 years, it was 10 to 100, and he has pending charges in other states. It's all going to add up to life in prison. I don't think he's ever going to see outside again. And he was also a topic of conversation because I know he's someone else that a lot of people were saying if he ever did a versus, not many much could beat him if he did a versus, but that's something nobody's going to see either because he's done. After
Right.
this, it's over. But to move on to more positive and some happy news, because that's just all negative in itself. And wish all the victims and that had to deal with all the shit that happened the best and positive energy as they move forward. But moving on
Right.
to better news, this weekend set the premiere of BMF, Black Mafia Fam, Black Mafia Family, loosely based on the life of Big Meech and his brother.
Right.
And his son happens to, play his pops. And I watched the first episode. I thought the first episode was dope. I like how it was gonna build up to other things, but for like this whole week, it was a lot of shows and like they had their whole press run this week. So they had like a little concert or whatnot. 50 had like a whole press run. They did like a big show in Atlanta. Then they did another one in Detroit. But they like they're marketing, like 50 is really pushing it. But I thought the first episode was good, and I think this series has potential to be one of those really great series. I know you're not the big fan like 50's TV shows, but how you felt about this episode? Oh,
So,
and the episode and the status of how everything went this past week about promoting it.
so I told you I didn't want to watch this. I told you that I'm not a big fan of 50, and I didn't want to do it, but I watched it. And I'm gonna say this: I actually liked it,
Okay.
but I think I liked it because again, it's not something that 50 produced, and I'm gonna explain this. Okay, so this is based on someone's life.
Mm.
So this, yes, production wise is from 50, but the storyline it's not from 50.
It's because it's loosely based on actual
Right.
events. Loosely
So
based.
basically what we're watching is a documentary on something that they made a show out of.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I liked it because again, it wasn't 50's like mindset or his story. All he did was the production of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like the storyline, and I liked how they did the first episode of the storyline. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So again, it wasn't 50's story. 50
Yeah.
took a real life story about these men and made a show out of it. So again, the reason why I like it is because it's not. I'm so tired of the same story with 50. That's my thing. It's
Because you
not
feel like some of the other stories, like for the Power series, is some of like 50 uses some of what he lived or what he experienced or what he
right.
seen to influence how the episode goes.
The Canaan story. That's basically get rich or die trying. Again, it's not 50's story. He's the producer of it, but it's not his story. So when I was watching it, I'm like, oh, okay, this is just basically their story that he's producing.
Mm-hmm. It
Do you
is.
get what I'm saying? So it was actually really good. It's just saying it was actually really. I didn't. I've heard of it, but Big Meech, but I've never really.
Yeah, so you get like somewhat of a to know really how he's gonna be.
Right. So again, it was good. I will watch episode 2, but again, it wasn't 50 stories, so it worked out. Because when 50, I feel like when 50 does his shows and it's the same thing. Nobody want to keep watching the same shit. Even though some of y'all just hooked on his shit and y'all just watching these shows that are basically the same shit. Power, Raising Canaan, and what was the other one?
Oh, the Power Book 2 Ghost is a
Right.
continue. Is a Power Book 2 is actual continuation of the original story.
Right, but it's the same shit, same
In a
shit.
way,
You could watch 50 shows and know what's gonna happen. Like, there's no difference.
ah, I say with Power Book 2, there's a loose chance of things, unexpected things happening because not.
Is there really, John?
No, I'm saying there's room. Not saying that's how they're gonna approach. Because sometimes, even if you have the room, they don't approach it that way. They just go with the basic formula for what they do, and it's like they'll give you 1-2 shots, and that's it. I'm saying that with the continuation, they have room to actually because a lot of shit can happen now. Like you want to know what can happen for the most part, but
I'm
I.
just saying, with the show BMF,
Mhm.
there's no way for him to continue to do shows. Do
Oh
you get what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like,
once that show is done, it's done.
right after that show, there's no continuation. And with 50, there's always a continuation.
You
It's
gotta
not he
make
could
that
just
money. You gotta make that money. As long as it's
fight,
good, make that money.
but is it really good or is he just being repetitive? And so that's why when we talked about BMF before, when we saw the trailer, I'm like, I don't want to see it because I don't want to keep watching stuff that's repetitive. So actually watching it, it wasn't repetitive. It was actually really good, and it was actually again, it's a documentary.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying. It's a loosely based documentary because they're not gonna they're not gonna really show everything they did, but they're gonna give you an idea of what they was doing.
Right. It was good. I say it was good. I,
as long as you
Still
enjoyed it,
think
because I enjoyed the first episode. I
50
thought
still
it,
sucks.
so it was definitely a good first episode. I'm looking forward to the season. No, and they basically got a nice cast. I feel like everyone that they casted is gonna do a good job. So I think
It
they
looked like
that helps when you cast a
it's
good.
it's a little bit overacting, but I mean you could expect that. It's a 50 show.
But I think I like the cast, so they did a good job casting. There's still characters that we haven't seen do their things because Snoop's also on the show too, so we haven't seen Snoop's character yet. So but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be definitely good. Last week, while you was on vacation, there was this thing trending on social media, for the most part, because Drake is big. He's probably the biggest artist in the world right now.
Right.
He's on top of the game. There's no denying, no arguing that he's on top of the game. But so they basically, it was a comparison between him and another artist who I feel is probably he is the biggest artist ever. I don't think no one's gonna reach him or top him. Maybe not in my lifetime, but he is the biggest artist ever. I'm talking about Michael Jackson, for those who don't know. But
you don't think nobody could top him?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think there's no artist, even artists now, I don't think they have a chance. Nah, I'm not gonna lie. Michael Jackson's like next level. So basically, the conversation is Drake at his peak is bigger than Michael Jackson at his peak. I don't agree with the statement because to me, peak or not, no one's bigger or ever going to be bigger than Michael Jackson.
Johnny.
That statement may disagree, but answer that question and you rebuttal what I said.
Do I think Drake is bigger than Michael Jackson?
Drake at his peak, bigger than Michael at his peak. Okay.
Even at his peak, what I'm saying is Drake is not bigger than Michael Jackson. Is he big? Yes.
Of course, he's the biggest.
Michael Jackson? No. Here's my problem with your statement.
Yeah, okay.
There are people who are on that train who will be bigger than Michael Jackson.
They're on that train, but they're like 30 stops away from the destination.
No. Bring it back, Johnny. Bring it back. Because I'm going to explain to you why. I'm going to break it down for you, right? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, Michael Jackson's life was cut short. So the generation that's coming now, these they're not millennials, they are Gen Z. Don't really know Michael Jackson, okay? Here's my problem with you saying that people are not, or nobody will ever be as big as Michael Jackson. That's pushing it, Johnny. That's really pushing it. Because if we have to throw out some names, Beyonce is probably getting up there with him.
I still think she's like 15 stops behind Michael Jackson.
I think you're exaggerating it.
She's on the train though. She's big.
No. I think she's in a couple of stops. I don't think she's 15, 30 stops away. I think she's on the same train and she's a couple of stops away.
No, I say yeah, she's definitely on. There's no denying Beyonce is as big. We know Beyonce is big. My point is, all right, it's just the impact that he had. I'm not gonna lie. Everybody has had the impact, but I haven't seen that kind of impact. Michael Jackson was so polarizing. Right, he was very
what? From what?
His performance to his music. Very polarizing. Nah, he is. He also had some accusations he dealt with, but he beat those cases. So that's also for a topic of conversation if you want to bring up talking. But straight, if you're talking straight musically, like music,
Again,
performance.
I think you're way off by saying that people are not on the train with him.
No, no.
Again, I think Drake is on, but this is two different music.
Oh
So
yeah, of course. But I think it's not more about. It's
we
just
comparing.
how big they are. It's not the music. It's just how big they are.
It is how big it is the music, because when you're comparing two stars, you got to make sure you comparing the same genre.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that too. But also the music has to be there too. Like you can't just the music has to also be great.
Hold on. Have the opportunity. Drake, they pushing the shit. Come
He
on,
made
man.
listen. He's big as shit now. Listen,
he's big as shit, but he ain't bigger than Michael.
no,
He ain't bigger than
of course not.
Janet.
No, I'm saying of course not. But I'm putting it this way. Let's put it this way. Everyone, to be fair, as long as you put music out, continue doing what you're doing, everyone has opportunity. But do I see anyone taking advantage of the opportunity?
That's not
No,
true.
because I don't see it
That's
happening.
not true. That's not true. That's not true. Just because you put music out and you don't have a chance just because you put music out.
Oh
that
no,
don't
no,
make
no, no,
sense.
no, no. Come
on, Johnny.
No. Let me clarify. Let me clarify. My point is for the artists. I'm talking about the big top of the top. I'm not talking about the mid tier, the lower tiers. I'm talking about the top of the food chain.
All right.
They have the opportunity because they're already so.
Drop some names, because you not dropping names. You keep saying at the
Who's I realistically? Let's name Beyonce's one big artist. Drake's a big artist. Taylor Swift is another huge artist. I don't listen to music.
You put Taylor Swift into
she's huge, but she's huge. She's a huge artist though. Huh? You said what?
You put Taylor Swift into this shit? You trying it?
No, I'm saying, but she's
trying it tonight.
No, but she's a huge. I don't listen to music, but she's a huge artist. All right, so like Rihanna's huge too. She's huge. She's also a huge artist.
Man, we talked about this.
He's just mad because he hasn't dropped music in a few years, but she's a big name musically.
Musically, she's a big name.
Yeah.
Or a brand wise, she's a big name.
Music helped to get to that point. Rihanna's huge.
Okay.
All right, so I gave you 4 names. You disagree with the names I give.
I didn't disagree with. I didn't disagree with.
Give me 5 solid names. 5.
I'm not gonna give you 5 solid names because I just told you nobody's on Michael Jackson's level just yet. But the fact that you're saying that nobody could ever be on his level again is false.
Like I said, I was trying to be fair. I said I was a little unfair. I said I'm trying to be a little more fair, but
because the same thing he was doing, Beyonce kind of did already. Don't even try your shit, because we could go down that. Yo, Beyonce done put out a whole African album, okay? Talking to the black people, for the black people. She put out albums for females, put out albums that men would sing. Come on, y'all ain't fucking. Come on. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. People have paid thousands and thousands of dollars to sit at the back of her concerts. Come on, Johnny. You gonna tell me she ain't in the same train as him? She's not a couple of stops away. You trying it?
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Michael Jackson's around. One moonwalk would change the whole perception. Everybody can do their performance. If he was alive right now, he stepped on stage, hit you with the one moonwalk and the crotch grab. The whole. Listen, you don't even gotta say nothing. He just walk on stage.
Johnny, again, you saying stuff that everybody already knows. He's the great. He's the GOAT.
That's the point.
That doesn't mean that nobody's close to being the GOAT and nobody will ever be the GOAT.
I know. I understand. Listen. I told you. I said I don't think nobody has a chance, but I said I'm gonna try to be fair and give everyone an opportunity. For the top artists.
You trying
But not realistically, in all genres, who's the top 5 artists in the industry? R&B, hip hop, rap, music, everything.
Okay, when you do think of that, you do think, okay, so you not even comparing Janet. So you telling me Janet's not the GOAT?
Oh no, she's amazing. She's amazing, but I'm pretty
That's
sure
not what I
she.
asked you.
No. Listen. She's amazing, but
That's
I'm
not what
pretty
I asked you.
sure. I'm pretty sure she will agree with what I'm saying. No one's passing her
That's
brother.
not.
She will agree with what I'm saying. I ain't saying nothing crazy. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I think she'll agree with me. But I feel like, you know how you bring her, I feel like that's a name due to how you brought up the new generation. That's a name because obviously we're not part of the newer generation. That's a name that gets forgotten because how the transition of
And that's what I'm
generation.
saying to you. You don't think that Michael's name will be forgotten?
No, I think he's too polarizing of an artist. I think
Okay.
that's just my opinion. Maybe
Okay.
not, but I'm saying Mike Jack is just too crazy of an artist for you can't forget about Mike Jack no matter what.
Okay.
His essence of what he did and performs is still an artist that performs today.
Okay.
It's that's how I feel like it's just transfer over to the Ushers, the Chris Browns. It's just the essence of Michael Jackson transfers over to them. Mike Jack, he's the king. He's the king for a reason. The king for a reason. But also,
Right.
but the conversation was, Drake Pete versus Mike Jackson Pete. But talking about Drake, in Canada, a university called college in Canada called Ryerson's University plans on teaching a course about Drake and the Weeknd. It's for a music bachelor's program, but the course is going to be more than music. So basically, it's going to be breaking down the Weeknd and Drake as a whole, just musically to the outside music stuff, which is interesting. I feel like when I hear about topics like this, it's an interesting topic. Like I feel like it's dope that they teach certain things like this in college. You think good idea, bad idea, or it's
There's
just
other shit they can teach. There's other
true,
shit that our kids need to learn. They
true,
need to
but
learn. They need to learn about loans because
of course,
they taking out fucking loans for these colleges. They need to learn about credit
no,
to know
yeah,
how
I
these
understand that,
loans affect these credits. They
but
need to learn about stocks and bonds. Okay,
mhm.
they need to learn. I just don't see this as an important elective or an important class
It's a
to learn.
flagship course, so it's gonna be one of the main courses in the
Right.
in the program.
Now I was just giving it over. I don't see why this is more important than teaching our kids about shit that is gonna affect their lives. Is Drake and Weeknd going to pay for their loans? Is Drake and Weeknd going to take out credit cards for these kids? No. This is the type of shit you it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't pay to go and learn about Drake and the Weeknd. I personally fucking need to know. I When we was in school, I wish they told us about the loans and the credit and stocks and bonds and the shit we're gonna use in the real world. You get what I'm
Hmm.
saying to
Yeah,
you?
of course,
Because to me, that's
I agree with you 100%. But what I'm saying is, for people that's trying to get in the industry, I feel like it's a good something to learn about artists like that.
why. Because what they did, you won't be able to do. Again, it's all about situation. We act
Oh no,
sometimes
no,
I feel
I
like
understand
we
that
act
point,
like
but
Drake. Sometimes we act like Drake wasn't a star before he became a rapper, before he became a musician.
yeah, he was
Drake was
on the
a
grassy.
right. He was a very a star. Of course, converting into a rapper is not as easy as we think. But again, he was already a star. He already had money.
My
This is
point,
why he was able to go independent. Again,
yeah.
this is nothing that's gonna teach these kids anything different. That's all I'm saying to you. I personally rather them have courses that are going to benefit them later on in life, whether it's in the music career or in because a lot of shit you go to school for, you don't fucking do after school.
Yeah, I understand that. But I'm saying is the fact that it's about to be like the in and out is also if I'm assuming because I don't know, but if they're gonna break down their whole careers, they're gonna talk about the contracts they signed, endorsement deals. That's something that a lot of people can learn from because it's something that's been repetitive. When people get into these industries, a lot of people sign very, very bad deals and they continue to do it. It's something that always happens. Every other year, you hear about artists wanting out their deal because they signed a deal that they didn't know was fucked up. That's what I'm saying. So, for sure, if you see something like that, it would be great.
Again, Johnny, that all sounds nice and dandy, but you have to get into the industry first. And that's not always a guarantee.
Of
The
course.
guarantee here is teaching these kids again financial stability. And I can't stress this enough. That comes before these dumbass classes. I just feel like it's stupid. I wouldn't take a course that taught me about Drake in the weekend. Well, Wikipedia could teach me. I wouldn't want to sit in the class and learn that shit. I'm just being honest. I'd rather you put me in a class where you're gonna teach me how to use credit.
But yeah,
To be honest,
I feel like
in a couple of years, Drake is so big that he's gonna have a documentary about his life. We could watch a documentary.
but I don't know. I just feel like sometimes it's interesting when I hear about certain courses being taught in certain classes about certain artists because I feel like but
Think to yourself, would you want to be in that class?
I think it'll be an interesting class.
That's not what I asked you.
I'll do that class if I was part of that program. I'll do that class. I think it'd be an interesting class to be in. Maybe that's me. Maybe not everybody would agree, or most people disagree. But I think it'd be interesting classes. Obviously, I would want to know what else they're gonna teach. You know what I'm trying to say? Is the fact that we know him musically. What else am I gonna learn in this course? So that would draw me into that class. This is me. But back to some controversy. We had some
I
controversy.
know if my son came home to me and said, I'm taking that class, I'll be looking at him like he a dumb. Like, what? Why are you spending money to take that class?
I think Dev will agree with him taking that class.
He would not.
You'll ask him, and you let me know the answer he gets.
I definitely would let you know because that would be stupid.
But I think he would. I think Dev would take that class. Dev would definitely take that class.
Anybody who spends money on that class.
I think he'd definitely take that class, but what you call it? But we'll agree to disagree about the course. But we're moving on back to more controversial. Controversial news. Nicki has been in the news lately. A lot of controversial stuff around her name. Maybe it's the media's way of portraying her. Media's choosing to attack her for certain statements she said, but she's been in the news again. Obviously, her husband has a past, a criminal past. He pled guilty to some charges way back when, some point in the 90s. And because of those said charges, I know he had an incident in LA or California where he had to register himself as a sex offender. So he had like a whole thing dealing with that. So basically the victim of that case from the 90s did an interview coming out telling basically her story and how Nicki was harassing her to basically recant her story, basically trying to change up her story that way, for the better of her husband. But that's just accusation because she's saying that happened don't make it true or not. It's an accusation, but she did come out and you basically said how she's been harassed to basically recant or change the story. but she was the victim of her husband's case in the 90s. She did a whole interview.
So you know he played guilty to that.
Yeah, no, that's saying he pled guilty. That's what I said.
So in 1994, he raped her, and he played guilty to, I think, 2 counts of rape.
I think was it rape or attempted rape? I don't think he pled guilty to the actual rape. I think it's the attempt. I think he pled guilty to attempt.
I know it was 2 counts. Not sure which two. I'm pretty sure it was 2 counts.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but I don't think he pled guilty to the actual act itself. I think he pled guilty to the attempt.
So I was reading it. I was watching. Yeah, it was attempt.
He pled guilty to attempt. So I feel like for the fact that it was attempt, I feel like he feels like there should be leeway that he doesn't have to register because he pled guilty to attempt. He ain't pled guilty to actually doing it. So I don't know. But basically, that's the whole ordeal. Basically, she got basically saying Nikki's been harassing her. She's been receiving phone calls to basically recant her story.
But it's not a recant if he has already been guilty. Do you get what I'm saying to you? There's no recanting on the story.
No, I think
it's public. It's public information, right? So she's just now speaking up of what happened, but it is public information. So there's no recanting it. I think what Nikki wanted was for her to stay quiet. And again, I just feel like
no, I'm gonna say the only reason why I say
so
she probably wants her to stay quiet, but why I feel like I said accuse the harass for recant is that way he won't have to register as if she recants the story. Basically, the charges get overturned. He don't got to be registered as a sex offender.
That's what I'm telling you. No, that's what I'm telling you. It's already too late. He already has to be registered as a sex offender. Her recanting is he already pled guilty to it. So what happens is once you play guilty, you cannot once you're sentenced, you're sentenced.
You know what I'm saying? But the fact, no, I think, you know what I'm saying? I feel like there's leeway in the story because he pled guilty. So he pled guilty, but if she recants, I feel like they could file motions where he doesn't have to register as a sex offender. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like there's legal ways and motions and things that could be moved around for that way he won't have to be on the list. I could be wrong, but I think that's probably one also main reason. She probably want her to stay quiet. That's one. And two, probably she doesn't want her husband, and I don't think he wants to be on that list. I feel like
again, she's still a victim. And at some point,
of course. The victim's still a victim. Yeah.
We have to look at it as she has a right to say her story.
Of course.
Nikki knew who she was marrying. She knew this man for years and years and years, as she says. Cool. Then you knew he had a past, and you knew somewhere on the line him being married to you, Nicki Minaj. The story was gonna come out. My only problem is, and this is my problem, is she spoke out about the COVID vaccination, but she's still yet to speak out about what's going on with this story. This lady did an interview with The Real, and she has 2 more interviews set up to talk about this. Yes. So at this point, Nikki's gonna have to address the elephant in the room.
No, she'll address it. Obviously, when stuff like this comes out, it's like you know what I'm trying to say. You get with your team, you get with your your publicist, you get with your people, and you work out. You just don't, because if you put out a response based off emotion, you're gonna say something crazy, and it's gonna make the whole
But
situation worse.
again, Johnny,
She'll
this is not
respond.
something. This
She'll respond.
this she. I hope so, because again, this is not something she just found out yesterday. This is something that she's known about this man and his crim. This is not the first time he's been brought up as, unfortunately, a rapist. This conversation, when she first got with him and we found out she was dating him, it came up he was a rapist. The second time when she got married, he came up with, again, this is something that she has to address and she should have been prepared for. Unfortunately, this girl now is going to tell her story, and there's no silencing that. She's going to go and tell her story.
Oh yeah, she's the victim, and people want to hear her story. But also, do people really want to hear her story, or the fact that Nikki's husband, the man, obviously Nikki's husband, the fact that he's Nikki's husband, people want to hear about what he did only because he's Nikki's husband. If he was Nikki's husband, you think people be wanting to hear her story. That's what I'm saying. Like,
You think if Drake and the Weeknd was Drake and the Weeknd, people made classes for them? Hell nah. Let's be honest. It all comes down with, this is the life you chose. You chose to be a celebrity, right? You chose to live in this limelight. You know, whoever you choose to be with or you choose to marry and start a family with, especially if they're not artists themselves, you already know what it's going to be. Yes, this happened in 1994, and she waited till 2021 to tell her story. Of course, it's because it's Nicki Minaj's husband. But again, unfortunately, Nicki knew who she was marrying. So you just gotta be ready for these kind of controversies and these kind of stuff that comes up. You as the artist has to be ready for it. And that's what I'm saying. It shouldn't take her that long to do a response. She shouldn't have to sit with her PR. She knew this was coming. She knew this was happening. So why not Ben have sit with your PR in order to get ready for your response?
no, I understand what you're saying. I I'm pretty sure she knew eventually the story would come out, but I'm pretty sure she didn't she didn't think it would go this route. But again, she has to
She knew.
understand she's Nicki Minaj, and the fact that she obviously she didn't do the crime, but she's tied into it because that's her husband. People are gonna
Right.
put more of a spotlight on it.
Right.
But that's yeah. So she has two more interviews. Those interviews is definitely gonna do a lot of
Damage.
yeah, to it's definitely gonna be some damaging interviews because she's definitely gonna tell a story, and she's telling her story on three good, like solid platforms. Not like it's like solid platforms.
Right.
Not like mid tier platforms. Like she was on this like radio show that locally most people know about, but not everybody knows about, or their fans
Right.
know about. She went to the View, so that's something that's known throughout the whole United
Right.
States. So that's a big platform to tell. That's the first interview, and you said two more, so I'm pretty sure the other two might be a platform at the same, or just probably a couple of notches under, if not bigger
Right.
than the View. Yes, that's a story that we will continue to follow because it's definitely gonna bring some interesting stuff. And when Nikki responds, I would like to see what her response and how that works out. But I think she'll be responding
Right.
soon. She'll definitely be responding soon.
I hope so. I hope so.
No, it, basically I would say I don't know everyone's gonna like her response, but she will respond because it's something she can't just gloss over. The fact now the victim is getting interviews and being seen. Like now, there's a face to the name. Like there's a face. Yeah, it's a situation that would definitely be something that would definitely be addressed.
Johnny Jones.
You said what?
You hear me?
I can't hear you. What happened?
Look, he just froze.
I was saying,
You just froze.
yeah, I was saying you was frozen too. I was like, oh, what's going on? But we'll use that to move on to our next topic. Coming to America 2 came out on Amazon. I think it did good numbers. If you liked it, you liked it. If you didn't, you didn't. I thought it was entertaining. But I guess with the success of Coming to America 2, what it did on Amazon, Eddie Murphy signed a 3-picture deal basically with Amazon. So it will have 3 more movies coming out through Amazon. I think it's I think it's a cool idea. Streaming is different nowadays. Most people will try to get movies in movie theaters. Netflix got original movies. Hulu got original movies. Streaming is on a different,
Right, and I don't disagree with that. I just, again, Eddie Murphy's one of those people that you just be like, is he gonna do the same thing he's done before? Are we watching? Are we gonna watch another Eddie Murphy movie where he's playing all the cast members and all this extra?
That's the best part about Eddie Murphy movies. That's the best part. When he be playing the other characters, them side characters be hilarious. I enjoy him when he plays the other characters. Those side characters be having me rolling.
So again, are we gonna be watching one of those Eddie Murphy movies where it's the same exact thing that we've seen before over and over again, or is he bringing something new to the table? Again, when I watch a movie, I don't want to watch something that I watch over and over again. I want to watch something different. I want to be able to say, damn, he did something different. That's dope. Like, I just don't feel like that with Eddie Murphy. I was
gonna say you're probably gonna do another. I don't know. Probably one of those movies probably be the sequel to Beverly Hills. Probably gonna do another Beverly Hills Cop, and then the other 2 movies is gonna be probably 2 new movies.
That doesn't make me excited.
I depending on what the movies are.
Are you a big Eddie Murphy fan?
Oh yeah, of course. I love all that. For the most part, I love all his movies. I haven't seen a movie where it's like, damn, this is a bad Eddie Murphy movie. I enjoyed all his movies.
Really?
You probably could name a couple, but for the most part, the ones I've watched, I enjoyed.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. I watched all the Beverly Hills Cop.
This shows what type of.
Oh, you're gonna say I'm a fan? You're gonna say I'm a fan?
I mean,
I'm trying to think. Beverly Hills Cop. I like that. All those movies. I like Coming to America. Even the sequel. He had a we had a movie. What you call it? The movie with I Spy with Owen Wilson. I enjoyed that movie. I like Norbit. Nutty Professor. Norbit, Nutty Professor. Boomerang was good.
Boomerang, I liked, and again, it was because he wasn't a comedian in that movie, and he wasn't
playing more
of
a serious role. It's more serious.
Right. That was a good movie. I would have to say my top. I only like 2 movies: The Golden Child and Boomerang.
Oh, Golden Child. I like Golden Child. I forgot about that. Golden Child. You ever watch? He had a movie called. You ever watch? There's a movie called Metro where he played like a cop. It was more of a serious role. I like Metro. His kid movie. What was it? A haunted mansion or something like that.
That was stupid. Dr. Dolittle was stupid.
Oh, I enjoyed Dr. Dolittle. Dr. Dolittle.
I feel like he's gonna combine all these movies and make it into one, and it's gonna suck.
I enjoy Dr. Dolittle.
We gonna pray that he don't play all the characters.
Oh, Vampire in Brooklyn. People,
that was stupid as hell. That was the worst.
Nah, that movie's alright.
It was bad.
No, it wasn't bad. Vampire in Brooklyn
It
wasn't
was,
bad.
and I hate to say it was bad because my girl's in that. Angela
Angela
Bassett.
Bassett, yeah, Angela Bassett was definitely in it. What was I
But
saying?
oh
The only thing I can say is
god,
Eddie Murphy's accent was terrible in that.
yo, Eddie Murphy accent, his acting, his yeah. Talk about Twilight being bad. That vampire movie sucked ass.
All right, no, this is different. That movie came out 27 years ago. Graphics and stuff is way different. Only thing I can say, Eddie Murphy accent was horrible, but I enjoyed that movie.
Oh god.
Eddie Murphy is the man.
Okay.
Notes, all right. Cut this little part, but transitioning now to movies. The Guardian did a whole list of, because this past week, if it wasn't a couple of days ago, this past week, Will Smith celebrated his birthday.
The 25th.
So his birthday passed. So I guess for his birthday, the Guardian did his top 20 films. So we'll go through it and we'll agree to disagree on what they have as the top 10.
Right.
But I'm gonna read off the top 10. Just read
Are
off.
you starting from 10 and then going to 1, or are you going from 1 to 10?
I'm going from 10 to 1. I feel like it's
Okay.
better that way. Go from the least to the best.
Okay.
So at number 10, they have Bright, which was a Netflix original film, which was I like Bright. Number 9, they have the Bad Boys franchise. So they didn't put
your movies, you're liking the movies.
You didn't like Bright?
Hell nah.
Nah, Bright was dope. I like Bright. Bright was dope. The concept and like the concept and like the undertone that the rest in the movie, I felt like
they just put a troll in the movie. That's what they did.
Number 8, Enemy of State. Number 7, I Am Legend.
That's a bullshit. I Am Legend goes way up. I Am Legend should be like number 6. Maybe number 4.
All right, so
I cried.
Number 7, I Am Legend. Number 6, The Pursuit of Happiness.
Hell no. That belongs to the number 2. He did an amazing. Have you ever seen The Pursuit of Happiness?
Yeah. You didn't cry? It's a sad story, but
you cried.
The struggle was real. You know what I'm trying to say? The struggle was real.
You cried. It's okay.
It's a better, you know what I'm trying to say? As I get older, there's a better understanding of the movie. You know what I'm trying to say? Because when that movie came out, I was younger, so you watch it, you see the story, but as you get older, you can really comprehend the story more. Not saying it was a more complex storyline. It's just the realism. As you get older and experience things, you can really see, like, damn. Because when you're young, you don't really, you see the shit, but you look at it through a different set of, like perceptions different. But as you get older, talk to them, conversate with people, you really comprehend the struggle more.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it should be higher.
Yeah, it should. I agree. Number 5, Independence Day. I love Independence Day. I think Independence Day is in a good spot. I think 5 is a good spot for Independence Day. Number 4, Ali.
I agree with that. Okay.
I ain't watched this movie. Now I'm gonna have to watch it, but it's number 3, Aladdin. It's number 3. They have Aladdin as number 3.
So let me say this because let me say this. I love Aladdin. Aladdin is one of my favorite Disney movies. With that being said, that's technically not Will Smith's movie. Yes, he was the genie. He did a great part as the genie. But it wasn't his movie. That shouldn't be on his fucking list. But okay, go ahead.
But since he was in it, it's gonna count. Number 2, the Men in Black franchise.
So the only Men in Black I love is Men in Black 3. So I do agree that shit belongs up there. It belongs as number 1 as for me, but okay.
Now I love the Men in Black series. I thought it was dope.
Me too.
So
but number 3 was my favorite. I could watch that over and over.
Like I said, I think that's in the right spot. Which one? Which one's part 3 about again?
When he goes back to save K.
Oh, when he goes back in time. Goes back in time. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I just couldn't remember. And part 2 had the Michael Jackson cameo.
Right. But number 3 was my favorite. The storyline was just really, really good. We find out why K went and recruited him.
Basically,
right.
he finds out what really happened. But
right.
I enjoyed all the Men in Black movies.
So I did too, but I'm just saying.
So at number 1 is 6 Degrees of Separation. It's a movie that came out in '93. I ain't watched this movie, but
me neither. And so, just a question, just for my reference, because I hate this movie. What number did Hitch fall into?
Hitch. I'm gonna scroll up. It was number 15.
My enjoyment, because that movie sucked. Let me tell you something.
You know what? Hitch was funny.
Hitch was a very bad movie.
Nah, Hitch was funny.
So it being number 15 just proves my point that it's a very bad movie.
Out of his top 20, most of them got
they
like
don't have After
movies.
Earth on there. That's so disrespectful. I love After Earth. I think that was a beautiful movie.
They have that After Earth at 18.
They could kiss my ass with that one.
They got Collateral Beauty at 20, 7 Pounds, 19, After Earth 18.
7 Pounds should be 20.
Legend of Bagger Vance 17, The Wild Wild West 16, Hitch 15, Hancock 14, Gemini Man 13, iRobot 12, Suicide Squad 11.
I
think iRobot should have been higher. I think iRobot should have been higher.
I could watch iRobot more than I could watch Bad Boy.
I think they did iRobot. They didn't do iRobot justice. iRobot should have been one of his top 10 movies. I love iRobot. iRobot was dope.
If I see it on TV, I gotta watch it.
If it's on, you gotta watch it.
Right, on some real shit. If I'm flipping through channels and I see iRobot's on, I'm watching it. I don't care. I don't care if I've seen it. If iRobot, and this is my problem. Again, these lists be personal lists. I hate that.
I feel like but
that just really pissed me off.
iRobot definitely should have been in the top 10. I definitely agree. iRobot's one of my favorite.
What was number 6? What was number 6? Because iRobot should have been number 6 or 5.
Number 6 was The Pursuit of Happiness. But you said you thought Pursuit of Happiness should have been high on the list. So
right.
So I think Aladdin's too high. But I ain't watched the Aladdin.
Aladdin should have been like 17. iRobot should have been in Aladdin spot because Aladdin was what, number 3 or number 4?
No, I think Aladdin was number 3. Aladdin was number 3.
Aladdin should have been where iRobot is, and iRobot should have been where Pursuit of Happiness is. Pursuit of Happiness should have been number 3.
But that's the list. Top 20 movies. They should do a little more tweaking on his movies, but iRobot definitely to me is, if not top 10, top 5 Will Smith movies.
Right. When I think of Will Smith, I think of iRobot. I don't, and Men in Black, of course, but and Bad Boys. Those are the 3. When you say Will Smith, to be honest, those are the 3 movies that automatically come to your head.
Yeah, which
Aladdin don't come to your head.
I didn't watch the live action Aladdin yet, but when I do, I'll give you a better opinion of it. But I didn't watch it yet. But I feel like that's something that's too high to be.
Okay. Well, you can't talk shit if you never watched it.
No, that's true. That's true. But I'm just saying, based on the other, I'm just saying, I don't think it's gonna be better than iRobot.
Right.
They have it ranked higher than I Am Legend. I don't even think it's gonna be better than I Am Legend when I watch it. I'm gonna just watch it to enjoy it. I'm not gonna watch it to compare, because when you watch to compare, it fucks up your perception of the movie. So I'm gonna just watch it to enjoy, and that's it. But I Am Legend is another one that should have been, I think, higher. Those movies is dope. But That's one list, but we're gonna move on to this next list, which is much bigger list. So we're not gonna even attempt. We're just gonna go straight to the top 10. A whole bunch of songs on this list, but we're gonna cover the top 10. So basically, Rolling Stones did its top 500 songs.
Jesus Christ, Rolling Stones.
I'm not gonna lie. At this point, you have to do it this way because there's so much music. You gotta acknowledge. You gotta acknowledge artists and what they did. So I feel I agree with them doing 500. There's a million songs nowadays, like so many songs. So the fact of are we gonna agree with what's the top 10 is a different story. But I like it. I'm pretty sure 10 years from now we're gonna be doing the top 1,000 songs. This is eventually gonna get to that, and I think that should be like the cap, and then just move it around. Because doing the top 100 songs is not fair. It's too many. It's too much songs. It's too much
Let's see
songs
these.
to do the top
Let's,
100.
let's see these stupid top 10 because this is again personal.
But here we go. I'm at number 10, all-time song. Number 10. They have Outkast, Hey Ya, number 10. Which is dope song. Basically, I love that song. Dope song. That's number 10. And number 9, Fleetwood Mac, Dreams. And number 9. Number 8,
I don't know who that is.
I don't know the song, so I'm not gonna judge it harshly. But that's what they have at number 8. I mean, at number 9.
Okay.
Number 8, Missy Elliott, Get Your Freak On. Number 8. At number 8. And then article, hold on. I did some dumb. I'm gonna get to number 7 in a second.
I like number 8. Missy Elliott does deserve to be there.
As I'm saying,
Get Your Freak On was a really good song.
For 1,000 records, I mean, for at this point, you gotta,
When I think of my childhood and dance, I think Get Your Freak On.
The site did some funny things.
So the 7 is the Beatles, Strawberry Fields Forever.
Oh, you got number 7 here. This article, since there's so many songs, is taking forever to load up. And then I had the list, so I was scrolling down, and then it went to some other shit, and it was like, oh, it was taking man long to load up. But so number 7 is the Beatles.
The Beatles, Strawberry Fields Forever.
See, look, it happened again. As I'm scrolling down, the screen just went black. Right. I don't know why I did that. So I guess you got the list, so you finished off 6 to 1.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Beatles, but I don't know. I mean, people argue that they deserve to be on the top 10 because they're the Beatles.
So. Of course, they're gonna. I thought they have to throw a Beatles song on there, and I will riot if there's not a Michael Jackson song in the top 10.
We haven't got there yet.
But yeah, we had number 6.
Number 6 is Marvin Gaye, What's Going On.
That's good. It's a good spot.
Very good song.
Yeah, I'm saying that's a good spot.
Right. Number 5, Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. I don't know that song.
I've heard that song. It's probably their biggest record. This is a dope record. No, I feel like it's one of those records. Nirvana is one of their big records, and since Kurt Cobain passed, like young, he didn't really have his career blossom how it should have. But no, that's probably not. That's Nirvana's biggest record. The lead singer basically, died of apparent suicide. There's been ruled suicide. There's been a whole big conspiracy theories around his death. We're not going to address that, but he died of apparent suicide in like 94. So his run, like Nirvana's run, didn't really get to really blossom into what it could have been. So I feel like
Right.
that also played a role in why that was number 5. But that's a big record. I like that record, but also it's just more of the fact of what could have been also plays a
Right.
role. So it's number 5. Okay.
Number 4, Bob Dylan, Like a Rolling Stone.
I've heard of the artist,
Right, Bob Dylan.
but I'm pretty sure there's people in this world I would agree with this spot. And since it's 4, I feel like anything in the top 5 is something that could be argued for a higher spot. I'm pretty sure some people feel like that should be a song that should be higher.
Right.
So okay, number 3.
Sam Cooke, A Change Is Gonna Come. It's a really good song. I don't know if it's number 3, but it's a good song.
Yeah, it's very impactful song. So that's a good 5 for number 3.
Yeah.
What's number 2?
Number Public Enemy, Fight the Power.
Oh, okay, so I can see the theme of what they're going with certain songs. So
right,
fight the power, the message behind the music. I can see that.
Right. Listen, I'm telling you right now, you ain't gonna be happy with number 1.
I bet not. I know I'm not.
So, number 1 is Aretha Franklin, Respect.
I'm not gonna disrespect Aretha. That's another song, the RESPCT. That's something I've heard a lot and it's been in a lot of movies, so it has its impact. So I ain't gonna jump down on that record. I feel like it deserves to be in the top 10, but it's a travesty they did not put any Michael Jackson record in the top 10. You know it, I know it, the world knows it. So I'm not gonna go hard on the top 10 records, but we all know Michael Jackson's supposed to be top 10. I feel like any of his records could be top 10 easy, full time. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. He's like, I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to like that entertainment / music, like performance, he's the greatest. Nah, he's really the greatest.
I get that, but I also get there's other people who need to be up there. The problem with you is that you just feel like nobody could be up there.
Oh no!
That is what it is.
No. Oh, all right. So, nah, I'm not gonna downplay every record. Listen, every record in the top 10 are all great records, and they did what they did. They had their success, and they are records that people continues to play.
It sounds like you about to disrespect.
No. I'm saying those records are records that are.
Because it sounds like you about to hit a butt. It sounds like you about to hit a butt.
No, I'm not gonna hit a butt.
Okay.
Actually, I might hit a butt. I just thought about it. I might hit a butt. But the fact remains, Mike Jack not getting a top 10 record is astonishing. It's a travesty. You could pick any of his records and just throw it in the top 10. Nobody's gonna argue it. That's just how I feel.
I feel like he's always in the top 10. Other people be in the top 10.
I just think that he should have been a top 10 lot.
That's what happened. Listen.
But I feel like some of the songs in the top 5 had like a theme. There's like a message behind it, so I could understand why it's there, because like it was like continuous. It was the fight the power. What was number 3? It was fight the power. Bob Dylan was 4, and then number 3 was the same. It was like something along the line with the message. Oh,
number 4 was
Change
Bob
Gonna
Dylan.
Come. Number 3 was Change Gonna Come. Sam Cooke.
Right.
So you know what I'm trying to say? That's like, and then respect. That's all in the same thing, basically. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like a deeper message to the song. So I'm not like songs like that. I always enjoy songs like that. Obviously, there's good songs that you jam to that just don't really have no content or no really like message behind it. It's just a song. The lyrics is on point and the beat is on point, so you jam out.
I mean, the only song I could really think of is "Man in the Mirror." That probably would have fit into that thing.
Yeah, of that thing, or they don't really care about us would have fit into that thing. That's also a dope Michael Jackson up there. Like, and I love Man in the Mirror. That's another. Like I said, he don't got a top 10 record of all time. I know he made the list plenty of times out of 500 songs. I'm not gonna lie, off that 500 easily could be 20 to 25 songs could be Michael Jackson.
Right.
In that list of 500. But the fact he didn't get a top 10 song is crazy. It's crazy, bro. It's the king. He's the king for a reason. Mike Jack's the king of pop for a reason. King of pop for a reason.
The fact that Beyonce ain't up there, that's the problem.
She has some records too that I feel like, also amongst the theme that was in the top 3.
She got brown skin girl.
You know what I'm saying? Amongst the theme that they went with the top 3. It's just I feel like with the meaning, they probably graded impact also when the record came out. Because sometimes a record of that magnitude came out in different times, so the impact is gonna be different. Like that plays a role too.
He had a whole African album they could have chose from.
No, I'm saying that's cool, but I'm saying like if she would have dropped that in the.
I didn't argue with you about Michael Jackson. Don't you dare argue with me
I'm not
about
arguing.
Beyonce. She deserved to be up in the top 10.
What's Beyonce's? You're saying any of his songs should have been top 10. That's what you're saying.
Any of her songs.
All right. Cause I was gonna ask you what you was gonna say like as best song.
We already know.
But yeah, yeah. So nice.
They could have put Single Ladies up there.
Oh yeah, Single Ladies is definitely one of her biggest records. You're gonna hear that shit for years.
Right. Everybody you go to, they play that shit.
You're gonna hear that shit for years. That's also like I feel like that's my point. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, those is one of those songs, even though Thriller is a great song, every Halloween, you're gonna hear every time October hits, you're gonna hear Thriller. No matter what time of the month, you're gonna hear
Are we
Thriller.
back to him?
Yeah, he's the king. He's the king.
Okay.
Now, you set the example, and I'm enforcing the example you set. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
I'm enforcing.
I would say an example with Beyonce.
All right.
Not with Michael Jackson.
But my point is, you set an example, and I'm enforcing it. What's another song that we're gonna hear? Obviously, we talked about it earlier on the pod. If it wasn't for his circumstance, R. Kelly definitely could have songs in the top, also on the top list too. He has songs that have replay value that been playing for 15, 20 years. But we all know his situation. But that's another artist that for certain situations you playing that song, and that's the same song you're gonna hear for those situations.
Right.
No. I didn't see the whole 500 list. We covered the top 10. 500 is crazy.
I ain't doing that.
But I guarantee you, at least 5, not more, R. Kelly records deserve to be on the top 500. But I don't think he made the list because obviously we know what's going on.
No, he probably didn't.
Yeah, he probably wasn't on the list. But it is what it is, and that's a wrap on this new episode of Another Shitty Opinion podcast. We out. Woo! So long. So we